Sounds better since you got it fixed.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, Happy New Year again, everybody. Our second week here of New Year. And by March, we will be going into our fourth year of running these once a week shows. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for our weekly vlog for Santa Barbara, California's longtime telescope and astronomy club, the Santa Barbara Astronomical Unit. Heard and seen Mondays at 11 a.m. for an hour. We call it the SBAU Astro Hour. I'm your host, Ron Herron, as vice president again. I'll introduce you to the board and some very passionate, amenable members in a moment. Meantime, follow us along on YouTube. It's only 20-second delay, and be ready to comment or ask questions at the bottom. I got to tell you, these are some of the brightest, most knowledgeable folks I've ever known. I call them the Brain Trust. But come join our club, everybody. We meet at the Santa Barbara Museum of Natural History on the first Friday of the month at 7 o'clock, usually with a free half-hour planetarium show. And our second Saturday of the month outside Star Party is also free. Find out all about us by going on the internet with sbau.org. Let's meet the gang, our newly re-elected. Well, first of all, let me tell you what we're going to talk about first, because once I get you guys going, I won't be able to get this in. Saturn, I think, is an evening star. Venus and Mercury are mornings. So we'll find out if I'm wrong or right on that. Speaking of real stars, Fomalhaut is nearby. Good viewing this week. There'll be a new moon by Thursday in the middle of the night. Speaking of the moon, we're going to visit one of the craters called Grimaldi, named for some Italian. Contrasting stars out in the Cygnus constellation, the Swan. Asteroid Vesta is going by, or going by M1 anyway, not going by us. Photos from Pluto at the very end. When do you see these? I assume taken by New Horizons. Now let's meet the recently re-elected for the sixth term, I think, Jerry Wilson. Jerry,
Hello, good
Hi,
morning.
Jerry. He's married to
Happy
a
New Year.
Yeah, is this year 6 or 7? I never get that straight. We don't know. We don't care. We're in for life. Donald Trump would like to be. We're on forever. This is democracy in action. And Pat Forgy is his lovely wife. Chuck McPartland is our outreach coordinator. He's the best there is, let me tell you. He and his wife, Pat, who now not only is merchandise manager, but working the old Colin job of treasurer. And I'm going to be using her to get reimbursement on my checks to the speakers. Tom Whittemore is with us.
Morning.
SBAU's, how you doing? Monthly newsletter. You baking bread, Tom?
Yeah, buckwheat with walnuts this morning. 2
Well,
loaves.
we're still
Ooh.
waiting. We're still waiting for our packages of sourdough for Christmas. You missed out. And Maureen is his wife. Bruce Murdoch is married to Bonnie, president of the Santa Barbara Theater Organ Society. Bruce, wave at everybody.
Hello, where are we? Right here. I got two videos. I've got my big screen so I can see things, and my little one, which is what I'm looking at right now.
All right. And I have this $400 Dell laptop I've had since the very beginning, almost 4 years here, or 3 years. And all I needed, well, I had trouble with the little lens on the screen. Now, finally, is Tim Crawford, who's blurred a little, or I guess I see you all right, Tim.
Oh, the lighting here is weird.
How long have you been in the club, Tim?
I don't know. I have memory problems.
We're getting old. Yeah, he's married to Karen.
Probably about 18 years.
Yeah. Do you join in on the Tuesday night workshop for lens grinding and telescope work?
I do, but some of it I'm missing because it's getting beyond me now. But I try to check in because it's the astrophotography is really interesting, although nomenclature is hard for me to follow.
Nomenclature?
Yeah.
That's a hard word to spell, too. Apparently, our newly elected, actually first official in a long time, Secretary Andy Allen sent out a link for the
Andy Cohen, I thought.
Andy Allen.
Andy Allen? Sorry, Andy.
Okay, well, anyway, I got it in my inbox. Of course, I had to refurbish today because I lost the old Connect, and thank God for Tom Totten, who used to be with us. Nevertheless, we got lots to talk about, and we're going to start things with the silliness. Our president forwards to us silly science cartoons all week long, and I don't know how he doesn't run out, but they're just amazing stuff. I hope I can latch on to what he's going to throw our way for a little levity to start the hour. Scientists have discovered
was a good one.
a new kind of black hole. My God, it has a gravitational field so intense that no treats or dropped food scraps can escape this incredible sucking in black hole.
And Chuck has added that this proves that black holes have hair.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, he said that. In fact, I wrote that down here, but I can't find it. All right, this is one of what was the cartoon?
Simpsons.
Simpsons.
Yeah.
He says 0 is just a portal between positive and negative numbers. Well, it certainly makes sense to me.
I like that.
That's true. A couple of scientists here at the blackboard are saying to one another after working it out, they've solved it all. No doubt about it, Ellington. We've mathematically expressed the purpose of the universe. God, how I'd love the thrill of scientific discovery. I wish they sure. That's far.
When I was an undergraduate, we used to joke about this, especially when we took gravitation or general relativity class, because if you write it right, Einstein's theory of gravity sums to 0. So we claim the universe is really nothing, but you can split it apart into 2 equal and opposite somethings. So that's obviously not a valid reasoning, but we were badly in need of humor.
Well, if you enlarge that picture, we can write down all those formulas and
These formulas are nonsense.
oh, okay. Well,
There's a little picture of Saturn there or something.
yeah.
It's not.
Hey, but why does there have to be a purpose? You know, nothing. Purpose is something mankind does. Or where are we here? You've heard of an elf on a shelf?
Right,
Bingo.
that's why they had = 0 on there.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Is this a math thing? This is going to need some explanation because y equals ax squared plus bx plus, I got my arrow over it, c.
This
You've
is a
heard of elf on a
quadratic
shelf?
in an attic.
Say that again.
This is a quadratic in an attic.
A quadratic, which is an equation in an attic.
It's just a rhyme. The elf on a shelf. Well, this is a quadratic in an attic.
Oh, got it. Yeah, quadratic equations, please.
Yeah, don't look for too much meaning in math jokes.
Yeah.
Or you got to really look deep. Another statement in Star Wars, anyone can hop in any spaceship and knows how to fly it. I just spent 20 minutes trying to find the headlights in a rental car.
They do move those around.
Except you guys with Teslas, they come on automatically and stay on, don't they? A couple of robots looking at one of those verify your signature or something things that we've all had to do. And they say, I don't get it. What the hell is this? Crab Nebula or whatever it says?
They're they're verifying that they're not a robot. And of course,
I haven't done one of those in years. Where do you do those? What is that for? Signing in
they
with
crop up on different websites.
That's true. You're right. Well,
I think they're going away now, though. I haven't seen many of them lately.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I have.
They're still there, Jerry.
Okay.
A lot of them now just tell me click a box that says I'm not a robot.
that's right. Here's a statement to the ages. Eating too much cake is the sin of gluttony. However, eating too much pie is okay because the sign or the sin of pie is
The
always
sign
zero.
of pi is
Sign
always
of
0.
pi,
Be cute.
which is spelled as like sin, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's an abbreviation. It's SINE is the full spelling.
That's true. All right, here we have pearls.
Now,
before
this
swine.
was contributed by some member.
All right. Who is the character in the middle? Do you know? The
No,
man in the blue
It's an
jacket,
anonymous
right?
character that shows up in Pearls Before Swine.
And we have a mouse to his left, and to his right is an alien, I guess, who says,
That's a
"Hey,
goat.
rat, what?
goat and mouse.
Oh, it's a goat."
Goat and rat.
All right, let's read what they're saying. The goat says, "Hey, rat, this is my friend Al, the physics professor. He wanted to come to this cafe to try their world famous pecan pie." Rat goes, "Whatever floats your boat." And then Al, his friend, the professor, says, "Whatever floats one's boat is not random or specific to every person. It occurs whenever the boat's downward gravitational force is less than the upward buoyancy force of the water." And the mouse goes, "Physics professors should never leave home. Should should send this to everybody out at UCSB. I don't recall seeing this one. The dog is grabbing the small. Yes, I do.
That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, this was good.
There was a Twilight Zone episode. Remember the little dinky spaceship landed in the old widow's attic?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Agnes Moorehead was the actress.
That's right.
That's right. Idiot, says one alien inside to another. I told you we were flying too low. And that's, of course, your dog. What is it? A setter, isn't it, Pat? Jerry?
Mine's a golden retriever.
Oh, that's right. It's a retriever.
But it was false advertising. We've had it 11 years and it has retrieved no gold.
Okay. All right. Certainly got us into a mood. We've got lots to talk about. Maybe a little less than normal, but I think we can go into a lot of detail. It sounds like Tom Whittemore has been out with his telescope recently, focusing on some nebulae or what? What have you been looking at?
Oh, just binoculars lately. It's been really windy up here, but the skies have been just absolutely spectacularly clear, you know. So
Same here.
yeah,
Chuck,
I get a lot out of binoculars. So
remind me later on, Chuck, before the hour's out, to ask about outreach. I meant to go to you, unless you want to tell us real quickly. It's Saturday, this coming Saturday, isn't it? We have
Well,
our
tomorrow
meeting.
night, Tuesday night, is the Telescope Tuesday.
That's right, telescope
And then-
workshop.
No, Telescope Tuesday at Camino Real Marketplace with telescopes.
Oh, followed by the online Zoom session tomorrow night.
No, they're
not related.
happening at the
They
same
conflict.
time.
They're happening at night at the same time. Okay, got it. And then
And
Saturday.
then Saturday is the star party.
Okay,
at the
following
museum.
our meeting. All right, we're in the sky. We're at night. Jerry?
Okay, this is the very early evening, just after dusk, 6 p.m. here local time on January 9. And I corrected the overzealous year here from 25 to 24.
okay.
Oh,
So this shows that we have Saturn as it's about to set.
Mhm.
It's an evening object. It's a nice object. If the sky, the seeing is clear and the sky is not too turbulent.
okay. And we're going to nail down some planets.
And the star over here, this is Fomalhaut.
There it is. That's how it's
You can
pronounced.
see
Fomalhaut.
Haut in French is low.
Oh, I didn't. Okay,
Oh,
I mispronounced it.
Fomalhaut.
Well,
Yeah.
it comes
I don't-
from an Arabic phrase that means mouth
Right.
of the fish.
Yeah,
Fomalhaut.
that's what I say. Fomalhaut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to
High
listen
in
to
French,
those things.
in French, high is O. O is high in French. Haute, O.
I asked a French teacher once, what if Brigitte Bardot, Bardot, was Bardeau? And she said, oh, it'd be Bardot. All right. What if it was
Bardot.
Bardeux or Bardot?
Would you?
Yeah,
I had the same argument with my French instructor. And he said, what's so hard about French? You pronounce every syllable. And I said, that's not the way it sounds to me. It sounds like you say the first syllable, you mumble the second, and you think the third.
Hey, Jerry, would
Yeah.
you like a French joke?
I don't know.
You ready?
we'll tell you
Yeah.
afterward, Tom.
So did you
Something like-
realize when the French make their breakfast, they only cook one egg? You know why that's the case?
Why
You
is
do
that?
this one, Chuck?
Uh-uh.
Because an egg is enough.
Oh,
Got too many vowels in that language. I'm sorry.
So I used to listen to the University of Texas, the McDonald Observatory. They had always a 5-minute blurb on radio stations I listened to.
Star
And
date.
They call what's that?
Star date.
Stardate. That's right. That's what their show was. And they called this the Fomalhaut. The Fomalhaut hour is when
That's
it's
below.
Oh my
getting
God.
low or it's high in the south.
That's from an Arabic word.
Well,
Yeah, maybe.
T-
I'm
the
a
T is-
victim, not a the professor on that one.
Yeah, like Chuck said, fish's mouth.
Yeah.
Now you can
But
have the
now-
Hawaiian alphabet, which only has 16 letters, and you pronounce every letter in the word.
Mhm.
Like
Is
the
that-
island that's off of Kauai, it's Niiau, and you pronounce it Niihau. You pronounce both I's.
Yeah.
And then German has too many Ks. Go ahead, gentlemen. Where are we? In
Here's
space?
one for you.
Okay.
Would you like to try to pronounce the Polish word for mushroom?
No.
Probably sounds
Grzyb.
dirty.
Is grzyb.
What?
Grzyb. Grzyb. Not a
What?
vowel in sight.
Gesundheit. So this is Saturn with its arrangement of moons. Tonight, January 8 at 8 p.m. The rings, they actually don't show real well on here, but Mimas, Tethys, Dione right there, Hyperion, Rhea, and Titan. In a small scope, you're going to easily be able to pick out Titan if the sky is clear, the dim red star. The other ones will take some study and some looking to make sure with a star chart to make sure you're not looking at another star.
What altitude is it, Jerry? Is it only about 20 degrees at the most?
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's extremely low.
Okay.
Those aren't called Galilean moons like Jupiter. Galileo never
no,
saw
that's
them.
around Jupiter.
That's
That's
Jupiter.
Despite the Saturn nebula being way down here, Saturn itself is right there.
Mhm.
So this is probably 20 degrees, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Maybe 15.
I think
This
it is.
This is Astronomy Magazine suggesting things that are low and will be hard to see.
Yeah, plus the sun is now working its way into Capricorn, so that's going to be pretty glowy.
Yeah, it's going to be. Did I get it in here? No. Well, you can see that dusk is still here. The sky has some glow to it. 6 o'clock, it's probably not going to be quite this dark here.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
this is a James Webb picture at some undetermined time that shows how Saturn looks in the mid IR.
Mhm.
The ring is quite bright, and Celadus is there, Dione, Tethys, and then they label the rings. The C ring is this faint one here. The B ring is this. The A ring is there.
Yep.
The Cassini division is here. The NK gap is here. And there's a faint ring out here called the F ring. And I think that's the one that's also referred as the crepe ring.
No,
No,
the
that's the
ring is
C. That's the C, Jerry.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
C ring.
real tough. That's real tough.
Yeah.
Even in a 12.5 inch. It's pretty
Okay.
tough. Yeah.
Okay.
That Cassini division is 2,000 miles across to give some scale.
Yeah.
2,000.
Usually
I didn't know that.
Right there.
But forgive my forgetfulness,
Right.
gentlemen. Did
Yeah.
we decide that the rings were once moons or a moon?
No.
Nobody's decided that. They don't know.
Well, the current best bet is that it was a moon about the size of Titan that was mostly ice, and it came within the Roche lobe of Saturn and got
Crumbled
ripped
up.
apart.
Okay.
Now there are moons in here, very small, dense moons that are strong enough to hold themselves together in the same gravitational force that pulled the bigger moon apart to make the rings. These rings are also tipping down so that I think it's next year, isn't it, that the ring is going to disappear?
March of 2025.
Okay, that's next. Okay, so a little over a year from now, you can take a very rare picture of Saturn with no rings. Because
Wow.
these rings are only 35 to 40 feet thick. They're the thickness of a 3-story building, and 1 story is traditionally 13 feet. So
Can you imagine if the first astronomer to focus in on Saturn had hit one of those side-on views when it disappears?
Well, Galileo did.
Okay, so but he saw it as we see it now. Those are ears.
Yeah, but he also saw them go away, which confused him like crazy.
yeah, he was confused.
And what he called them, Ron, he called them ansae, ANSAE, which means handles in Latin. He didn't know what the heck they were.
Handles, not ears?
He called them both ears and handles. But
Ansae means handles in Latin.
So the planet is a big cup with 2 handles. It's a sugar bowl.
yeah, Ansae was his official description.
Got it. Okay.
There's a nice picture of Saturn that was taken from the backside where it was obscuring
Yeah.
the sun.
That was from Cassini.
And that's where they found a new ring that is equal to basically the distance between the Earth and the Moon, 240,000 miles in diameter.
Huh.
What are we on moons on Saturn now? We're up to what? 155 or
146.
146?
You lost me on that. What does that mean? 146 what?
Yeah, I'm
Moon.
not going to try and memorize any of those numbers. They change too
Satellites,
quickly.
moons.
You know, Jerry,
Oh, moons.
we were discussing on the definition of a planet can clear its own orbit. Is the same go for a moon? Is it supposed to clear its own orbit?
That is such a poor definition that I wouldn't even bother thinking about it.
Okay.
Well, you've got the Trojan asteroids that trail a lot of the planets, including Jupiter.
So yeah, you could argue that Jupiter is not a planet under some interpretations.
Oh, all right.
They're still working on a more realistic definition of a planet.
Well, if they don't have a range, if they don't have a range of size for moons, you could probably say Saturn has several quadrillion moons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the sky early morning. This is the 9th, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. You can see the sun is coming up. It'll be a whiter sky than this. But in the southeast, you can see Mars down here, very close to the sun. Mercury, Venus in the morning sky. They
made
asteroid
a triangle
series.
this morning, Jerry.
What's that?
Venus, Mercury, and the moon made a pretty triangle. The moon was up to the right a little bit, though.
Yeah, it'll do sort of a skewed triangle tomorrow morning.
Yeah, the moon occulted Antares this morning for people who just tuned in.
Oh, over here?
Yeah.
So it's traveling down this way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But Fomalhaut is not involved in this picture?
No, that's an evening star southeast.
Yes,
this is very
the other
early
side of the
morning.
sky.
Got it.
I did one for the early evening and one for the early morning.
Yeah.
Got it.
So you're getting a hint here of the summer constellations.
Right.
Scorpius is clearly a summer constellation. So it's just rising now that we're in winter. It's going to be 6 months. This will be on the southern horizon in the evening.
Right. And the sun is almost finished migrating through Sagittarius. Almost.
Okay. So it's working its way through Ophiuchus now.
Okay.
Well, Ophiuchus is right where your cursor is. That's Ophiuchus up there. Sabe.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
It's Aquarius that comes after Capricornus.
Right.
Okay.
Can you imagine what they got scheduled for a Webb telescope to look at? There's so much out there.
But the good news is they have enough fuel, they think, and coolant to have a 20-year mission instead of 10 years.
Wow.
I did hear that. Yeah. Okay.
Musk will visit it and resupply it.
Yeah.
So this is a generic shot of the crescent moon around this time. It might be a little more over this way. This is the crescent moon, according to a chart that I have, for 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And Grimaldi is somewhere up here. God, every time I lose it. Grimaldi right there.
There it is. You got it, Jared. That's it. Yeah.
And this is
You're
right
on the Terminator line.
Yeah. So I put this up because it's very hard to find Grimaldi on this. Way over, it's not that, but it's way over here. And it's not this. This is a bay in a sea.
Isn't it down there at 7 o'clock?
This one?
Sounds right, Chuck. It's one of the last things you see on a teeny crescent moon, that's going new. That's going new.
Yeah. So this was probably a Friday or last week time, because now it's just a very thin crescent.
But that's a great shot on Copernicus or whatever that big crater is there.
Yeah, it is.
Was Grimaldi a well-known ancient astronomer?
Not so ancient, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, recent. Got it. He didn't discover it, though.
No.
No. Now, this is a picture of Grimaldi and its surrounding terrain taken by the, the lunar orbiter.
Okay.
Let me just get
That's Grimaldi and his whole family.
Oh yeah, the lunar reconnaissance orbiter.
Well, there's
So
several
it's this thing
Grimaldis. There's
almost a sea with little newer craters nearby. But there's a lot of wrinkled terrain around here, like up near Rime Riccioli. Very interesting stuff. Very high resolution picture. Obviously a picture artifact. There's no construction on the moon yet.
But because of the sun's angle, we get better shots, more shadows.
So this one's on the rim of the sun, but this was taken from a low orbit satellite, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. And
It gets a better view than we would get.
What's that?
It gets a much better view than we would get.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
Well, is it a Mare?
Well, it's one of those with a dark mare-like floor, so it filled with lava at some point.
Okay. I can't imagine lava on the moon, but I guess it's
So I saw a cartoon that showed the devil talking to this geologist, and he said, "You're going to enjoy it. There's a lot of lava down here for you to explore." And the geologist said, "Well, we're under the earth, so that would be magma when it's not lava till it gets to the surface." And the devil said, "That's why you're here, you realize."
There's an interesting feature on this thing. The two, there are lines, Riccioli U and Riccioli F, which are to the left of Grimaldi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you and I don't see Riccioli F.
Down
Down
below.
below you. Down below
Oh,
you.
yes, down there.
But you see
Oh,
that
wow.
Those are crater names. They're not referring to the lines. Lines are called Rime, and so you can
Yeah.
see that one coming out of Riccioli or Riccioli there. Rime Riccioli is that line coming down toward the main label for Riccioli.
Yeah, it should
I
be.
think there is a faint line there, and I think that this is a mosaic picture, and they might have put two things together at that line.
I thought, yeah.
But there's a lot of really interesting, obvious faults, and sort of looks like a dry stream bed here.
Yeah, or collapsed lava tubes.
Yeah, something like that. A lot of interesting structure. I can hardly wait till we have research stations on the moon, and we're exploring a lot of these things really close up.
Yeah, well, we all have our faults.
We do. California,
Nice one, Ron.
right
Nice
among
one.
Good one, Ron.
Okay.
Real quickly, when is the Artemis launch coming up this year, isn't it? 25?
Yes.
I know it's next year. 25.
Artemis 2.
Yeah, that'll be
going-
circling the moon, right? They're not going to land on.
That's
No,
correct.
it's the first manned mission, and it circles the moon.
Got it.
This
I wouldn't
morning,
hold your breath
we
waiting
launched-
for it.
There was a launch this morning from a commercial company that is attempting to put a lander on the moon.
Oh,
So I think it was the Vulcan rocket. It
Yeah.
launched from Kennedy Space Center.
They've ticked off the Navajo because they've got a bunch of human remains on board that they're going to leave on
Yeah.
the moon.
oh, no kidding. Be an Indian burial site on the moon? Are you kidding me?
Well, no, they're not Indian people. The Indians object to corpses to remains being put on the moon.
I see.
You're talking about indigenous Indians or people
Yes,
from East
yes.
India?
Navajo,
Oh, yeah,
in
right.
particular.
Why do they object to remains being put on the moon? Do they claim
They see human remains as heavily corrupted, as bad stuff.
Plus, the moon is probably very sacred to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. In their language, they're known as Dine.
Yeah.
Navajo.
Huh.
Fascinating stuff, gentlemen, as always.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is the western horizon in the evening. This is 6:30 p.m.
Mhm.
And as Chuck has pointed out, the head star or the tail star. No,
Head
this
star.
is head star
Beak.
of Cygnus. The wings are up here, the tail goes up there. The head star Albiro is a very colorful star. It has been referred to as, and this is the small picture of it.
Cub Scout star.
It's been the Boy Scout star, the UCLA star,
Berkeley.
the University of Michigan star, all sorts of things. So Astronomy Magazine points out that this is in the summer, and one of the last things you can see just before it sets in the early evening in the
Right.
winter here. But there is a similar star in the winter,
Yes.
and that
Tim
star
favorite. It's a Tim favorite.
Yes.
it is
Go left. Go left.
the most common name I found for it is HD 56577.
It's 3945. It's
Right.
Herschel 3945. Yeah.
Okay.
Herschel 3945.
So this is at 9:30 at night.
Say, Chuck, you want to give me your mnemonic for remembering?
I don't remember it.
Oh, come on. You're the one who taught me it's World War II. It started 39, ended in 45. That's how I always remember it.
Okay,
Oh.
I didn't think it was.
A long time ago, you told me
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
I've seen not a very good mnemonic. I've forgotten it.
Astronomy magazine has a name for the star that exists nowhere else than in that article.
And what was that combined number, letters and numbers you just gave us?
Well, the one I gave is
it's a
HD 56577.
Oh my
that's a
God.
Henry Draper number.
Yeah, there's
My
other
God,
ones here. HIP
that was my-
35210,
Wow.
SAO 173349.
Hipparchos.
That was my phone number 60 years
Yeah.
ago. Wow.
Our phone number is 60 years old is 680.
It's
Really?
also known as the Winter Alberio.
Yeah.
What was the
So-
lead-in name? Back when they had lead-in names, Murray Hill 441. What was the one around here? Does anybody remember?
Woodland.
Yeah,
Woodland?
Woodland. Yeah, Woodland.
Woodland 9. You know, I came here in 1964, and everybody had 7-digit phone numbers, but you only had to dial the last 4.
Hmm.
Everybody was Woodland 9, so
Oh, I missed those days.
our phone number back then was 3681.
Wow. Well, that's what Neil
So
says.
this is the constellation of Canis Major, the brightest star in the sky, Sirius. This is up in the south in winter, the evening star. It's conveniently placed in the winter. And this is the star that it's much fainter. It's about magnitude 3 or 4. But it has a blue and a gold color like that, like the Alberio does.
And M41 there, the open cluster in the chest of the big dog.
Mhm.
That's often called the Pleiades in comparison with the Pleiades.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Pleiades.
it's also an easy binocular target. It's this wonderful target.
Really?
Now, notice he did not say Pleiades.
Another asterism, huh?
No, it's an open cluster. It's a
Open
messenger
cluster.
object.
Tommy, let's look at that at Westmont.
Yeah, it also has a planetary nebula in the middle, right, Chuck? Is that the
No,
one?
I think that's 47.
47 or 48, yeah.
Oh, okay, one of those.
46 or 47.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, there they are off to the left. Yeah, 46 or 47.
It's
Yeah.
one of those. I think it's 46, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm probably wrong, but it's one of those.
Mhm.
They're close, so it's easy to swap between them till you see it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're
And
seeing
Thor's helmet is one of Joe Doyle's favorite to show folks.
It is. It is.
Yeah, he loves
It's a
that.
nice imaging target, too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, by the way, nice image on the new bookmark.
M33, that's Jerry's.
That's
yeah.
mine. Well, thank
Yeah,
you.
very.
Thank you.
That's behind him right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nice, Jerry.
what did we have on there before? Andromeda, wasn't it?
Well, that was
No,
Paul
I've had M33 for a long time.
Oh,
We
okay.
had M31 for a long time, and then we had the sun in different wavelengths.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right.
and that was Boyd. That was John Boyd's.
Yeah, we also had Bacara. We had one of the Bacara outreaches with a picture of the sunset.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm just giving you guys a grapefruit tree behind me.
Yeah, that's great.
Grapefruit? Wow.
Grapefruit, yeah.
All right. Another part
Okay, now later in the evening a little bit, we look at Taurus, the bull, Aldebaran here in the heart of the constellation, Elnath and what's the name of this one?
Zeta.
That's
They have 123 Zeta, but I thought it had a name.
It
in
does.
the red there. It says 4 Vesta.
Well, right there is the red dot.
Oh,
That's what we're talking about, because the Crab Nebula is right here, a nice small object, a little tricky to find because it is so small, and you can confuse it for a star at low power. Usually you search for things at low power so you can see it if it's on the edge. That frequently has me pass right over it. But Ceres is going around the Crab Nebula
Vesta,
this next month. What's that?
Vesta, not Ceres.
Vesta, excuse me. Excuse me.
Is there a number with that? Vesta 4?
Yep.
Number 4. It's the 4th asteroid named.
It's not a dwarf planet. It's not round enough, is it? There it is.
Yeah.
this looks like it was the remains of something much bigger, because you see all of the planar, like
The ridges.
or sedimentary laydown.
Looks like something.
It sideswiped something getting out of the hangar.
Yeah. I swear I took something like that out of the oven last night and slathered it in sour cream. It was delicious. Look at
It's a
that.
walnut.
Yeah, the walnut, yeah. A lot
Looks
of
like a
things
pig's
out there
head or
that are
dog's
not
head.
round have ridges, equatorial ridges or scars of some type.
But they go all the way around it. So
I don't know.
I wouldn't call them scars.
Yeah, it's like it got mushed together, or it had a ring that eventually
Yeah.
collapsed down onto it.
Something.
Now, gentlemen, the vast majority of the asteroids in the belt we cannot see, right? Only the larger ones, right?
Well, what do you mean cannot see? Do you mean with a telescope?
The telescope. There's millions of them out there, but only the ones that are a few hundred meters across can we see, right?
No, we can
No,
see them down
You can
quite
yeah.
small. But
you
Last
can see
week,
the smaller ones if they're closer.
yeah,
last week
Viewing location too, not here.
Yeah.
on the last
The first-
we determined there was one that was going to come by us pretty close in 5 years, in April of 29. Is that seeable right now?
That's Apophis. You're
yeah,
not
with a
going to
big
see
enough
that with-
telescope, it's visible.
yeah, they're tracking it with large telescopes and spacecraft.
Are they big enough to occult?
Yes, even things down to 1 kilometer. I mean, yeah.
So
Stars are essentially pinpoint sources, so even a small asteroid can occult something.
okay, so when you set up your telescope and watch an occultation, you don't see the asteroid before, you just see the star wink out. That's all you see, right?
That's if it's a dim asteroid. Sometimes the asteroid's brighter than the star.
Wow. Okay. And how big is this one?
This one's pretty good size, like 100 miles across, 200 miles
Yeah.
across.
Wow.
Yeah, that one that's coming by in 5 years, they showed a picture last week. Remember, sitting in New York Harbor, and it was a mother. It's big.
The first asteroid that was located in space and determined that it would hit the Earth, and then 24 hours later it did hit the Earth and was retrieved, was the one that hit way up in the southern Sahara Desert in the middle of, God, I forgot the year.
It was Sudan that it hit, yeah.
Sudan, yeah. And an airline pilot said he saw the flash way out of a side window.
Wow.
Now, speaking of Twilight Zone, as we were a while ago, remember the segment where the guy is sentenced to life on an asteroid and he gets visited by this rocket and he's out there breathing air and everything? And remember that Twilight Zone?
I remember one where he was sentenced to imprisonment on an asteroid, and one of his friends snuck a robot kit out for him to have something to do to build the robot.
It was a woman.
And he built a woman robot, and he fell in love with her. And then they came to get him because his sentence had been commuted, and so they came out to pick him up, and he wouldn't leave the robot, and they wouldn't bring the robot back because it had been taken out there illicitly.
That may have been the plot, but he was breathing air, wasn't he?
It was what?
He was breathing air, normal gravity.
Yeah, that was, even when I was in the 60s, I knew that was poetic license, you might say.
Glad Rod Serling was on drugs. There's no question.
Well, he was a heavy smoker.
Yeah, I know. I think
He died young.
Yeah.
In his 50s, yeah.
I learned so much. I just don't retain it. Damn it. Okay. Where are we now,
Okay,
Mr.
what do we
President?
got going here?
Orion is in the middle.
Ryan.
Orion is in blue, just to the right of the middle.
Yes. Now, we looked at this in detail in Orion before, but now we're looking at this constellation here that doesn't have a very much bright star to it. Monoceros, one-horned, meaning unicorn. And in it is a very dramatic, well, this is the Christmas tree cluster and the Cone Nebula and Hubble's Variable Nebula, which we looked at a few weeks ago. But tonight we're looking at the Rosette Nebula and the star cluster associated with it. And on this star chart, it's outlined in red for the nebula, and it's got the symbol for an open cluster. They correspond with each other, but they're basically in the same place. And this is a picture of the Rosette Nebula.
Oh, yeah.
Star cluster that's in it. It's a very easy star cluster to take a photo of. It's quite bright. It's on the order of just a little bit fainter than the Great Nebula in Orion.
Oh,
But
really?
it's full of these dark veins that are easy to see in here. And if you zoom in a good photograph, you can see right in here stuff. You can see what are called Bok globules, which are condensates that are going to break away, and they're now gravitationally condensing to form star systems, stars or planetary system. So this is a very active nursery, and it shows two stages of that, because here is a star cluster that formed out of this nebula. And the stars are very young, very hot, very bright stars. They're white, so their temperatures are high. And they're putting out a tremendous stellar wind, and that has blown this hole in the middle of the gaseous stuff that condensed gravitationally to form these stars. So this nebula and star cluster is gradually transforming into an open cluster, and then with no nebulosity at all.
But Jerry, this is a planetary, correct?
No.
No, this is very big. This is about the size of the Great Nebula in Orion.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like the size of the full moon, and it's very dim visually.
Yeah,
in a dark
visually it's
sky
hard to
though,
spot.
Chuck, a dark sky, you can see it with your eyes in a really dark sky.
Yeah.
It looks like the remnants of an exploded star, but it would be too big, wouldn't it?
Too much stuff.
This is the remnant of many, many exploded stars.
No kidding.
The reason that it's circular is because this was the densest part of the nebula, and this is where the biggest stars formed first. And now they're blowing the rest of the nebula out. They're blowing it away, so they're hollowing it out.
Huh.
Huh.
But it's not an explosion. It's stellar winds.
Oh, stellar winds. Oh my God. But the word rosette is not in any way related to that stone they kiss in Ireland.
That's the
It's the
Blarney
Blarney
Stone.
The Blarney Stone.
Oh, then what's the
You're
Rosetta
thinking of the
Stone?
Rosetta Stone, which
Rosetta
was
Stone.
in Egypt.
Yeah.
That's right. The different stone. Blarney. That's a bunch of Blarney on my part anyways. Excuse me, gentlemen.
The Rosetta Stone was discovered by the savants that Napoleon took with him when he invaded Egypt.
He's
He had a
about
lot of
17.
professors along with him, and they found the Rosetta Stone. And then they found an English army which took the Rosetta Stone away from them and brought it back to the British Museum. And so previous owners of the Rosetta Stone are trying to get it back, particularly Egypt.
Doesn't the Rosetta Stone have the same saying in 3 different languages?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was.
Greek, Egyptian, and Latin, or something like that.
Yeah.
It's 2 different versions of Egyptian plus Greek.
Yeah.
And so they were able to get a handle on hieroglyphics from that.
Huh.
And the key finding with that was that hieroglyphics, as not expected, was a phonetic language like English is.
Really?
And
Each
not like
symbol has a
Chinese.
sound.
You know what they found on the wall of some tomb in Egypt? There's a couple of ladies, couple of women juggling. They figure juggling goes back at least 4,000 years. Now, the reason we're seeing this is that this week is better seeing. The moon's about to switch over, so we're going to have a dark sky. Otherwise, as Chuck said,
Yeah, if you remember 2 weeks ago around full moon, we were focusing just on planets and open clusters or star clusters. Now
Right.
I think the full moon or the new moon is this Thursday, isn't it? Or is it Wednesday?
it's Thursday at 3:30 in the morning or 3 o'clock.
That's right. 4 a.m. on Thursday. So
Is this best seen with an O3 filter or UHD?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It really stands out in that.
Okay.
Rosette. Rosetta or Rosette?
Rosette.
It's
Rosette.
Rosette Nebula.
Well, that would make it different from the stone, wouldn't it? All right.
Yeah.
Well, if we get clear skies Saturday, we might be able to go after it, but
So if we could further murder the French language, it would be rosé.
That has bubbles. Oh, this has bubbles.
you know, the helix had it looked like two overlapped concentric rings. And in this, I was looking at that.
Oh, yeah.
And it almost had that appearance to me, but I might be just seeing that.
Well, that's because you get semi sort of spherical bubbles coming off of these big stars where they clear out the area.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Well, I brought up the Webb telescope moments ago. Has it had a chance to look at all these things we're looking at, or have they yet to peruse the Rosette Nebula, for example, yet?
I don't think they've looked at it yet.
Wonder what it would look like with the Webb telescope, man. There'll probably be all kinds of things we don't see
Well,
now.
it depends what light bandwidth or light range they're looking in.
Well,
Wavelength, I should say.
infrared. Yeah, infrared.
So here we turn our attention to the north, up near the North Pole. The pointer stars of the Big Dipper point off screen up here to where Polaris is. But there's a lot of galaxies up here and planetary nebula, the Owl Nebula. This is a circumpolar constellation. You can find it pretty much all year round from here if it's clear and you're on a mountaintop. But the best time of year to look at it is in the evenings now. It's higher up than it is in the summer.
Actually, it's just coming up now. So
Right.
you
Yeah.
want to wait another month, probably.
Yeah, it gets up on top. But when I get up with my dog now, because she has to go in the middle of the night, it was just stunning. The Big Dipper was completely upside down, as high as you can get. It was probably around 3 a.m.
Why don't you just share a urinal with that dog and both of you go? Never mind.
Our backyard is a urinal.
Oh, it is. Well, there at the top of the screen is the 101st thing Charles Messier found, isn't it?
Yeah.
The one he labeled. I don't know that he found them. He didn't. He
Oh.
just put a lot of things in.
And then equidistant on the other side, Ron, is the whirlpool.
Oh, that's where Whirlpool Galaxy. That's where we're going. Canis Venatici and his orchestra, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's across. They're across the line here in Canis Venatici, the Venatici dog.
Hunting dogs.
Those are
Yeah,
hunters.
hunting dog, right?
Venators.
So this is the Alcor and Mizar. This is a double star. That is an eye test, naked eye test for being able to see that without any visual aid. The object here that we're looking for is this Whirlpool galaxy, which is a very interesting one. It's actually two galaxies that have been in collision or passed close by and are now separating from each other.
Yeah, but one's sucking the stuff out of the other one.
Yeah. So this is a picture taken by Tony Hallis of
Jeez.
M51. M51 is this one. This is a separate one, an NGC number. There's a nice edge on galaxy here and another much farther away edge on there. And this is a either a barred spiral or some weird galaxy. There's a lot of stars around this that are not in either. They've been thrown out of these galaxies, particularly this one. This one seems to have suffered the most from passing by the big one. And this bridge here goes around here. It also goes into the background. This galaxy is farther away than this one, as I recall.
You know, that's occurred to me from time to time that if we were to get thrown out of a galaxy, what is that? That wouldn't really hurt life on Earth, would it? It just diminish the number of stars in the skies that we'd see at night, wouldn't it?
It would just change the stars in the sky. As long as the Earth's orbit around the sun did not get disrupted, there would be no real change here.
Jerry, I was out of the room. Is this a Hubble image?
No, this is an amateur image taken by Tony Hallis.
Oh wow! What a
in
great
Forest
image.
Hills on the west edge of the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Wow! What an image.
Yeah, it's absolutely outstanding. He's an excellent processor too. He's got the classic yellow-orange, yellowish of the core, and the young blue stars of the arms. Classic colorization.
You know, you did send, Jerry, in your talking points the date that Charles Messier found this galaxy M51. It happened on October 13th, 3 years before we put the Declaration of Independence on paper. 1773.
Yes.
So he didn't care about our revolution over there.
He noticed it was a very faint nebula without stars. And in 1784, Connaissance de Temps, I don't get the reference. There might be a line missing there. Messier appended a reference to Pierre Machin's observation that M51 in fact appeared to be a double galaxy with two nuclei. Right. We now know that M51's companion is a diffuse disk galaxy, NGC 5198, that is interacting with it. In 1845, William Parsons, Earl of Ross, using his 72-inch speculum mirror reflector at Birr Castle in Ireland, saw the spiral structure for the first time.
Chuck was just there. Chuck and Pat were just there.
Yep, big telescope. Big backyard.
What is the smokiness at the companion galaxy there?
Those are the stars that have been thrown out.
The smokiness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that little galaxy to the left, you sent the note of its dimensions. It's about half our size. It's 50,000 light years across, making the old big ones, the whirlpool, about bigger than us, I guess.
It's about 90 or 100,000 light years across.
Oh, they used to think the Milky Way was 100,000 light years across, but now more recent, it's 200,000 light years across.
Oh,
all depends how you define the edge.
Yeah, that's the rub.
I basically tell people about 150.
Yeah. Split the difference.
I do. I split the difference.
Well, isn't Andromeda is still larger, though, isn't it? Coming our way.
That's about the same.
Same size.
Well, more stars in it, but not.
Holy cow! What a image this is.
This is a James Webb Telescope image in the mid-infrared of the core of M51.
It's also Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Yeah, this hurricane you would never get over.
That's true.
They do have hair, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is unbelievable.
You know, it must go through your mind, gentlemen, looking at something like this, that there must be countless cultures, civilizations of aliens inside that don't know about each other, just like we don't know.
Well, they think they found an exoplanet, a planet in M51.
What is that? Oh,
an exoplanet. Well, the planets we find around other stars in our galaxy are exoplanets. And this one they think they found there, they call an exoplanet.
Oh.
And that's because it happens to orbit an X-ray binary system and it occasionally occults it.
Well, there's 10 to 20 times the number of stars we're looking at, or there's planets out there around every one of them. We probably know.
I've never heard that term, exoplanet.
Yeah.
Exoplanet.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
And the black hole is where the blue is in the center.
Yeah.
Way down in there.
We have a panoply of images, very high resolution images that were just released by NASA, I think, that are of Pluto close up.
From New Horizons?
Yes, these are from New Horizon.
It looks like a snail that's going along on those ridges.
Something, it looks like a wagon and a horse maybe, but
Yeah.
I think this is the lake of frozen nitrogen.
Looks like the surface of a soccer ball.
It
This is
reminds
the-
me of a science fiction story I read that I've related before when the first astronauts go in a manned vehicle to Pluto and they get in a position and they turn their ship upside down like Elon Musk does, and they land because there's no atmosphere on Pluto. So they land with retro rockets firing, and so they land bottom end first. And as soon as they get close to the planet Pluto, their spectrograph informs them that there are mountains of frozen hydrogen and frozen oxygen and other petrochemicals too. And as soon as their can touch those mountains, they are not able to reverse their landing in time, and the whole planet catches fire.
Oh,
This is actually the Pluto Olympic bobsled training area.
Well, now is this picture taken in the middle of that?
As Yogi Berra says, when you come to a fork in the road, take it.
That's right. But are we looking at part of that big heart-shaped
Part
nitrogen?
of what?
There was a big heart shape on the surface.
Oh, yes, this is in the heart
This is
shape.
part
Yes.
of it. This is zoomed way in on it.
Yeah, way in. These
Tombo
are very
Reggie.
high resolution pictures.
Here are a bunch of footballs.
Whatever
like
that
bubbles.
is, it's got a bunch of young ones following it.
yeah.
Wow. What the heck are they?
I don't know. Whatever it is, they're powerful cold.
Yeah.
These are probably
Yeah.
all gases or at least liquids at Earth temperatures. Probably
Wow.
gases.
And that's in that white area too.
Yeah.
So they're bubbles.
This is on the edge of that white area.
Aha.
Reef.
Those are weird mountains. I doubt
Yeah.
that there were rivers or streams eroding mountains on Pluto, would you
Now,
think?
I know up in cold regions near the North Pole and the north slope of Alaska, you get these hexagonal patterns because of periodic melting and freezing, and it pushes all the debris to the intersections between them.
Oh yeah, those here on Earth and the basalt. You know the.
Large dry lakes like Death
Yeah.
Valley.
Oh no, I was thinking about the. Oh come on, what is that in Lassen? I've forgotten where.
Last
know,
Devil's
Devil's
Post
Post
Oh,
Pile
Devil's Post Pile, right?
up by Mammoth.
Right.
That's because of their crystal structure.
Yeah, right. This is
Wow.
not related to crystal structure. Obviously, it's too big.
Yeah.
That New Horizons took a lot of great pictures. I guess it was pretty damn close when I went by.
Yeah.
Closest we've gotten anyway.
I mean, it's been years. Why the delay? Why didn't we have these at the start?
Oh, they might have been processed later. There's
Oh,
image processing, which is occupying a lot of time now in our Tuesday night workshop. There's several new algorithms and approaches to it that came out. One by Russ Croman called Blur Exterminator. Does phenomenal. It essentially replaces the old system of deconvolution, which was an iterative search type program. It uses AI and a neural net, and it just is a breakthrough in image quality enhancement. So that stuff may be getting into, I know it's getting into some of these images. And so we're able, with old data, it makes it all very sharp and very clear.
well, we're never going to give up on Pluto. It may be demoted
No.
to a dwarf planet, but we love Pluto. It's going to be in our family forever. What the heck is this?
And Ron,
That is,
Ron, that's an example of some of the nomenclature I listened to at the workshops.
in French, this is described as je ne sais quoi.
Oh, of course. Which would be an asterisk on its side or a Christmas tree, one or the other.
I don't know.
Or
Je ne sais quoi.
ampersand. Looks like an ampersand.
Looks like an exclamation point, maybe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
Terry,
that-
in the previous image, there were some striations that almost suggested some kind of magnetism in that granulation that we were looking at. Yeah. You see the little striations? Yes.
That could be like wind or
Yeah, sand
wood
dunes.
flow. Yeah.
Okay.
This is very dry. There's no liquids here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I thought the big heart was made of frozen ice or nitrogen.
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen ice. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
nitrogen
ice.
ice.
Okay, that kind of ice. That is dry. Fascinating. Think we'll ever go out there again? You think we'll orbit? You think NASA?
Yes, I think this was a fortuitous thing. A program at NASA, they had some money left over and they offered this guy had been trying to propose a trip to Pluto. And so they thought at the last minute, here, the time is short, but see what you can do. And so the program manager made it a very reliable, emphasized reliability because of the time that it would have to travel through empty space, being very cold and still have mechanisms working. So
Right.
he got leftover equipment from other programs and put together with some new stuff, put together a system that had very few moving parts. For example, the telescope and the camera were not gimbaled with respect to the satellite. If you wanted to look at something else, you had to turn the whole satellite because mechanisms tend to fail after storage in space for a long time. They stick. So he made it so that wouldn't stick. And it was an example they covered in a class on reliability and risk management that I took as part of Hughes Aircraft Company. And it was a wonderful job. He did it in very short notice. And it was a superb engineering achievement.
Well, there's some interesting things about Charon, whatever its moon is.
This is not Charon, that's the moon.
Yeah, Charon's the moon, but they have an interesting relationship. I guess they sort of go around each other like stars, like binaries.
They're both tidally locked.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. And one of
Yeah,
them,
the center of mass is between them. It's not within them.
and I thought there was some atmosphere out there on one of them.
On Pluto, yeah.
Pluto has an atmosphere when it's close to the sun, and when it's farther away from the sun and it's slightly elliptical or it's largely elliptical orbit, then it has no atmosphere. The atmosphere freezes out on the surface.
I did an occultation of Pluto probably in a couple of years ago, but little 5-inch scope and detected the atmosphere of Pluto in the light curve.
Well, we can't zero in on a Saturday night star party, can we?
It's a summertime object.
Oh, it's summertime. Do they keep track of when it goes inside Neptune's orbit? Do we
Sure.
know?
Sure.
Doesn't it do that?
Yeah.
Doesn't it eclipse?
You can look all that stuff up.
All right. We have run out of time, gentlemen. Come March, we will start our 4th year. We're going to continue meeting. And I don't think any of us, well, a few of us have missed a few shows, but we have not missed a Monday, have we, for almost 3 years since
No.
March of 21. And we'll see you tomorrow night, Chuck, once again out at Camino Real.
Camino Rail Marketplace for Telescope Tuesday, or you can just virtually go to the Zoom for the Telescope Workshop.
Okay.
Saturday, right at the museum.
Saturday at the museum.
Yep.
Then we'll have our planning meeting on Saturday afternoon and be back here again on Monday morning in our caves, our man caves and computer dens. Gentlemen, take care of yourselves and your wives and your dogs and cats. We'll see you.